we titling this, Peggy?
Man, the massive month for women's basketball. Man, women are on top.
Yeah.
In the basketball arena.
Yeah.
Man, what we have here is the Iowa versus South Carolina national championship game has garnered over 18.7 million views and viewers, which is bigger and more viewers than Thursday Night Football on Amazon, which was 11 million views. Then you also have the 2023 NBA Finals, which garnered 11.64 million views. And what we have here is a women's college basketball game, obliterated all of that. So, Cam, the question is, and I'm going to let you break it down, is like, break down, obviously, we have some key pieces of people that made this happen.
Yeah.
And how did this even come about in your eyes?
Look, now, I caution what I'm about to say to be the truth that I know the truth to be.
Okay.
And only the truth. For the longest, women's sports have been safe. I said, this is the first time where we've identified a villain, or in this case, we have identified a rivalry. Think about it.
Okay.
For the longest, we have never villainized a woman. And in none of the major sports from women, we have never villainized a woman. And you say track, Sha'Carri Richardson. Mm-hmm. But you see what those numbers, I would love to see what those numbers look like.
Yeah.
Because we're not used to holding a female to that standard, like, I don't like her.
Yeah.
And I want to see her lose.
Yeah.
But for LSU,
yeah,
they wanted to see them lose.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so when I think about Philage Johnson and what Angel Reese was able to do at LSU, Caitlin Clark needs to thank them for giving her that platform to perform and to bring attention and eyes to that event.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's the truth.
Because that was, to me, I feel like that was just as important than the national championship.
Oh, for sure. And it was because of all the flack that was, or all the attention that was garnered for when she did like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When she said, oh, we national championship. Yeah. Like that, they wasn't used to sisters popping off
and
like,
popping shit, like,
you know what I'm saying? Or talking like guys normally talk.
Yeah, correct.
Like, get that shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut that shit up.
And I hated it because it's like, oh, conduct yourself as a lady. But it's like, bro, we gladiator. When you a gladiator,
bro, you
that
gotta,
ain't no gender.
Correct.
That ain't no race. That's no creed. When we step into these lines, they showed up this year as gladiators.
For sure. And we're not used to seeing females like that. Yeah. So shout out to Paige, Angel, Cameron, Caitlin, Camilla, amongst other female athletes that did their part in highlighting the greatness of the women this year in sports. Yeah. I can't tell you the last time, and the real question is, when was the last time you watched or cared to watch a female basketball game before this year?
And the thing is, this year, I was like, bro, I got to get home and watch the women's game. And like, oh, the men's game playing?
No,
I
wanted to watch the women's game.
Yeah,
So go back. And I'm not trying to create nothing other than an understanding of where my take comes from. They crucified Angel.
Yeah, they did.
For being authentically herself. They crucified the whole LSU team. Oh, that's classless. That's tasteless. They have to show sportsmanship. But they don't understand. You have to respect where a person is from. You can't just say, oh, no, that's tasteless, that's classless, that's not a good notion for the sport. But it is, though.
Yeah.
And when you think of an Angel Reese, when you think of, even Caitlin Clark, they appease to what they are a product of their environment. Man, I tip my hat off to every single female athlete that played a part in that, because it just wasn't one event that led to that. And not to suppress what Caitlin Clark was able to do, not only this year, but throughout her whole college career. It was something that will always garner the attention forever. knowing that people are watching this game solely to see what Caitlin Clark is going to do.
Yeah.
The rematch.
Yeah.
And also, can Caitlin beat Goliath in South Carolina? These things, people want storylines.
Yep.
And in order to have a storyline, a healthy one, you need a villain. You need a hero.
Yeah.
And we're not used to female sports having that.
Yeah.
Because it's always respectful and it's always, looked at in a certain manner, but not this year. Before Magic Johnson, before Larry Bird, before Michael Jordan, before the Bad Boys and the Pistons, and nobody really wasn't giving it back when Bill Russell was around.
Yeah, and Will Chamberlain, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you need that. Rivalry in media equates to ratings.
Mm-hmm. They need somebody to point the finger at.
I'm trying to tell you, like, listen to what, like.
But you even see it right now, even in college basketball with Duke and Carolina.
Yeah.
It's always, that's a bloodbath. Like, they going to go at each other. And no matter if the teams are trash.
Yeah.
If they have a sorry season, people going to tune into that game because the rivalry, and I think they started that.
Before this year, and especially college female sports, there wasn't a real rivalry that garnered the attention that we're used to seeing in men's sports.
Correct. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And Dawn Staley, obviously, she just made a post that she's going to give her practice squad rings too.
That's hard.
And her practice squad are all guys.
For Rena, they've opened up the building and open practice before the women's basketball team gets ready to open up their season in Paris. They leave tomorrow. And in the meantime, they've allowed us to come and infiltrate their court. Deb Antonelli, Elle Duncan standing here with Coach Staley. Coach, I'll be the ignorant one. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Who are these dudes?
These dudes are the highlighters.
Okay.
They're the highlighters because they actually are the main reason why we are as successful as we are.
That's facts.
They're students. They're male practice players. They come here. They're committed. We win championships. They get rings. Like, several of them have gotten a national championship ring from 2022. Wow. So anytime we win, they win because their dedication and sacrifice is just as much.
The Don has spoken.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things that if we want these things to keep pushing the pendulum to equality, we must now.
We got to support each other.
We got to support each other.
Yeah.
But to our point of Newton's law being why, the massive growth for women's sports is come by way of the sports world acknowledging a villain.
Yeah.
It's sad to admit, but like I said, rivalries equate to ratings.
And I think also, too, even from the men's perspective, us looking at the game and respecting it for what it is.
Yeah.
And not, that's just a girls' game. Nah, it's basketball. I'm watching a basketball game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I even caught myself this year of just like, I'm about to go watch the game. It used to be like, that's the women's game. Or blah. But now it's like, no, that's the game. That's the game.
No lie. I was watching the UConn game and UConn and Iowa. Mm-hmm. And I was just marveling over, Paige and Caitlin kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, bruh, she cold.
Yeah.
There ain't no. It ain't no
for no girl. She
you
cold
know what
for
I'm
a girl.
saying?
She's
It's like,
cold.
yo, she cold.
Yeah.
Like real shit. Like she pulling up from the logo. She pulling up anywhere. And she going behind the back and just, and that's why I say like whatever her environment was that created who she is, it should be supported. No different than Angel Reese. Two different circumstances. Falaje Johnson. These people don't come from the same background, so you can't attack their background as something to say like, that's tasteless, that's classless. Because they are who they are because of something, and that something may be any type of noun, a person, place, or a thing.
Yeah.
And you have to respect that for what it is and not shade that.
Correct.
and just respect. Like, even though I don't know where Caitlin is from, never been to Iowa.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the way she plays the game, I have to critique it in a negative manner.
Because even with her story, she, like, when it came out, she was like, I always wanted to go to UConn. I used to be a UConn fan growing up. And the coach at UConn never came to my practice. They never recruited me. And so that was her fire when he played. You know what I'm saying? It's still a story.
Yeah.
But question to Cam. So do you think women's basketball is a moment or it's a movement? Do you think it's going to still keep growing after this year?
Oh, it's definitely a movement.
All right.
But I think with what we've seen, the rise in the ratings, so to speak, you can't deny the ingredients or the algorithm that led to that.
Yeah.
And that will promote more authenticity for women. So for the Flojos and Venus Williams of the world, the Sha'Carri Richardsons of the world, the Cheryl Swoops of the world, these great women, and the women that I haven't named, that doesn't mean that they're not great. They had their own distinct style.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That brought a different element than the normalcy than we're used to seeing in women's sports.
And do you think that's going to translate to the WNBA? When Angel Reese and Caitlin go, do you think the ratings, the numbers, like, you think they can bring that?
It
I
should.
hope so, yeah.
Because I remember DMing Angel. And I told her, I was like, yo, man, keep your head up because you give hope for my daughter. My daughters.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So don't feel suppressed. Heavy is the crown.
True.
You dig what I'm saying? Even for Caitlin, that's not to say like she ain't shit or shit. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, bro, everybody has a movement in their own right. And it's created because you're authentically who you are.
Yeah.
And you walking in your purpose. Being your own self is here to stay. And I hope more women take that same blueprint and apply it to them and being great for what it is, man. I love it.